Okay, volume review worksheet, page 4, and what we're doing is we're looking at volume of a cylinder. So just remember that volume equals AH, where A is the area of the base times H, which is the height. So for the volume of a cylinder, we use the formula V equals the area of a circle, which is pi r squared times our height. So for each of these, we are going to use the formula V equals pi r squared H. So for the first one, V equals pi r squared H, where we have our radius to be 6 and our height to be 10. So we'll have V equals pi times 6 squared times our height of 10 in our calculator. So we go pi times 6 squared times 10, which equals 1130.97335. So volume equals 1130. So that, what happens here is the 7 rounds the 9 up to be a 10, which rounds the this 0 up to be a 1, so it'll be 1131 centimeters cubed. So for our next one, we have volume equals pi r squared H, sort of running out of room there. So you have your radius is 8, your height is 15. So your volume equals pi times 8 squared times 15. So pi times 8 squared times 15 is 3015.928947. So to one decimal place, volume equals 3015.9 centimeters cubed. And for our next one, we have a radius of 7 and a height of 12.5. So we have volume equals pi r squared H. So volume equals pi times 7 squared times 12.5. So on the calculator, pi times 7 squared times 12.5 gets us a volume of 1924.2255, and to one decimal place, volume equals 1924.2 centimeters cubed. For question 2, we want to find the following cylinders, correct the volume of the following cylinders correct to 3 significant figures. Now for each of these cylinders, we have the diameter, so we want to find the radius by halving the diameter or dividing the diameter by 2. So for this one, we have our height of 8 and our radius is 12 divided by 2, so our radius equals 6. So same formula, so volume equals pi r squared H. So volume equals pi times our new radius, which is 6 squared, times our height of 8. So volume pi times 6 squared times 8 is 904.7786842. Now this question says correct to 3 significant figures. So we have figure 1, 2, and 3. However, this fourth figure of 7 rounds the third figure up. So it'll be 905 centimeters cubed. For our next one, we have a height of 10 and we have a radius of 28 divided by 2, so our radius will equal 14. So we put this into our same formula of volume equals pi r squared H. So volume will equal pi times 14 squared times our height at 10. So volume equals pi times 14 squared times 10, which is 6,157.521601. So volume equals to 3 significant figures. So 1, 2, 3. So this 7 will round up the 5 to be a 6. So it'll be 6, 1, 6, and that 7 will turn into a 0 centimeters cubed. Now our radius for this one is going to be 6 divided by 2. So our radius is 3 and our height is 15.4. So same formula, volume equals pi r squared H. So volume equals pi times 3 squared times 15.4. So pi times 3 squared times 15.4. Volume equals 435.4247,418. So our volume to 3 significant figures, so 1, 2, 3, and that 4 does not round up as it is less than 5. So 435 centimeters cubed. Okay, so for question 3, we want to find the volume of the following correct to 2 decimal places. So same formula, V equals pi r squared h, where our radius is 5.6 and our height is 3. So V equals pi times 5.6 squared times our height of 3. So V equals pi times 5.6 squared times 3, which is 295.5610368. So volume equals, to 2 decimal places, 295.56 centimeters cubed. So same formula, volume equals pi r squared h for B. For B, we don't have our radius, so it's 14 divided by 2. So radius will equal 7 and our height is 25. So we have volume equals pi times 7 squared times 25. So volume equals pi times 7 squared times 25 is 3,848.451001. So V equals 3,848.45 centimeters cubed. Now for this one, we have half a cylinder. So the only thing that changes with our formula is that we're going to have volume equals half of pi r squared h. So we have our radius is 10.8 divided by 2. So that should be 5.4. And we have our height to be 14.5, sorry. So our volume is a half times pi times 5.4 squared times 14.5. So volume equals a half times pi times 5.4 squared times 14.5, which is 664.164.1029. So volume equals 664.16 centimeters cubed to 2 decimal places. Finally, for question 4, we want to find the volume of the following solids correct to 1 decimal place. So for A, we are finding the volume of the solid, which has a volume being taken out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of that circle. So we're going to find the area, that's a dodgy circle, that's even dodgier. So the area of this coloured in circle, so like the donut bit. So we'll find the area of that, and then we'll multiply it by the height of 17.6. Because remember, with volume, we're always using the formula V equals AH. So we're finding the volume of this coloured in bit first. Okay, so we have that the diameter of the hole inside, so the diameter of here is 8 centimeters. So how we find the area of this is that area will equal pi times r squared minus little r squared. This is where we have our, or we can go our pi r squared, so that's our large radius, minus pi of our little radius squared. So area 1 minus area 2. So we have that the diameter of our hole is 8. So that means the radius of our hole is 4. And then we have that our diameter of our hole is 25. So our radius, or our large R, will be 25 divided by 2, which is 12.5. So our radius of our, we might just go out this way, is 12.5. So we'll have area equals pi times 12.5 squared minus pi times 4 squared. So 12.5 squared is 156.2. So we have 156.25 pi minus 16 pi. So what this equals is 156.25 minus 16 is 140.25 pi. Then what we are going to do is we need to find the volume. So volume equals AH. So volume equals our area, which is our 140.25 pi, times our height of 17.6. So 140.25 pi times 17.6 gives us a volume of 7,754.707306, which to one decimal place equals 7754.7 centimeters cubed. So 7,754.7 centimeters cubed. Now for question 4b, we have two volumes and we're going to add them together. So this will be volume 1 and this will be volume 2. So we'll have volume equals volume 1 plus volume 2. And I'm just going to do this all together. So we'll have volume equals volume 1, so we'll have pi r squared h plus pi r squared h. So that's volume 1, that's volume 2. So for volume 1, we have pi times, we need our radius. So our radius is going to be 21 divided by 2, so that's 10.5. So it is pi times 10.5 squared, and our height is 2. So our height of this volume 1 is 2, plus pi times our radius of volume 2. Our diameter is 7, so our radius will be 3.5. So it will be pi times 3.5 squared times our height, which is 8.3. So then we put this into our calculator all together. So pi times 10.5 squared times 2 plus pi times 3.5 squared times 8.3 is equal to, volume equals 1012.142613, and to one decimal place it's 1012.1 centimeters cubed. Now for our last one, what we have is we have our volume of our rectangular prism minus the volume of our cylinder here. So our volume of our rectangle, is LBH. So where this is our L, our B, and our H. So that is 12 times 10 times 9. So our volume of our rectangle, 12 times 10 times 9, is 1,080 centimeters cubed. And then the volume of our cylinder is pi r squared h, where we have pi. It says our diameter of the hole is 7. So that means that the radius is 3.5 and the length going back is 10. So it will be pi times 3.5 squared times 10. So pi times 3.5 squared times 10 is equal to 384.845, 1001. And now we need to add them together. So volume equals volume R plus volume cylinder. So volume of rectangular prism plus volume of cylinder, which equals, I'm just going to add them together here, 1,464.8451, and to one decimal place that is 1,464.8